I'm Steve Bunin. We have breaking news. Several Republican state lawmakers, plan to file a lawsuit in Pierce County targeting Governor Inslee's stay-at-home order. They want to abolish it and get the economy reopened faster. A news conference is scheduled for 2 o'clock this afternoon, and we will bring that to you right here on King 5 as well as king5.com. We do begin phase 1 of easing the restrictions in Washington state today. Here's a look at what that entails. You can fish, hunt, and golf again with some major limits, of course. A lot of state parks and other state lands will be back open. Drive-in spiritual services can happen. Most landscaping and construction can start up again. And while things are opening back up, you'll still need to follow social distancing guidelines. In fact, the Department of Fish and Wildlife says while fishing is open, there are still emergency rules in effect. King 5's Callie Greenberg is in Seattle to explain.
If you're planning on heading out, the Department of Fish and Wildlife says you should either check its website, check social media sites to make sure you know all the rules before heading out on the water. One thing to keep in mind is while public access is reopening, some local, federal, or tribal access sites might still be closed. And if you do head out, they expect you to follow social distancing guidelines, remaining 6 feet apart. They also say you should only be boating or fishing with people who live in your immediate household. The department also wants people to know that saltwater fishing off the state-specific coast, that remains closed. That was a decision made by public health authorities. Now, last month, the video you're looking at here, people held protests to pressure the governor to allow people to fish. And now that we're here at opening day, Northwest Marine Trade Association says people are eager to get out on the water.
Turn the corner into, the nice warm days of spring and summer. There's a lot of pent-up demand for people to get out on the water. There are some guidelines that I expect boaters and anglers to be very mindful of, and that is social distancing is very, very important.
One other thing the department has asked people to check is make sure they look at the rules for what they are allowed to and what they aren't allowed to fish. They say while it's easy to social distance on a boat, if you do head to a site that looks busy or congested and it's hard to stay 6 feet apart, they expect you to find a plan to go fish somewhere else. In Seattle, Callie Greenberg, King 5 News.
Thank you, Callie. And also golf courses, as we mentioned, reopening today with social distancing. So among other things, groups of 4 can golf together, but only if they're from the same household. If you're all living together, a family essentially can go. We are hearing from a golf course owner in Tulalip who says enforcing that is going to be hard. He is hoping that the people who come by understand and respect the new way of doing things.
Coming out the golf course, oh, we're here, everything's the same again. No, it's not. It's not the same. We need to do things a little different for a while until the numbers get a little more under control, and then we can venture back to what they say is the new normal.
Yep, going to be a lot of the honor system here. More than 100 state parks also reopened today. But again, before you head outside, the state wants you to do, they say, 4 things. 1, stay close to home. 2, check the status of the park where you want to go. 3, bring your own hand washing supplies because the bathrooms probably won't be open. And 4, follow the state park guidelines, which include staying home if you're sick. Some state parks are still closed. So for a full list of the ones that are actually open, text the word parks to us at 206-448-4545. We'll immediately text you back a link. Today, Northern Quest Casino in Spokane is back open with strict social distancing rules in place. Visitors may notice machines blocked off to limit the number of people in one area. People are also encouraged to wear masks. In Arlington, the Stillaguamish tribe plans to reopen the Angels of the Winds Casino on May 11th. That's Monday. It could be weeks or months before other casinos reopen. Tribal casinos are not held to the governor's stay-at-home order, but they did close voluntarily to help slow the spread of coronavirus. Some counties could reopen as early as this week under the governor's phased plan to reopen the state. King 5's Kira Elfallen in Covington with more.
Here in Covington, businesses like Golden Phoenix and other restaurants and hair and nail salons, they're going to have to wait until phase 2 of Governor Inslee's plan to reopen. But for some smaller communities, if they apply with the Washington State Department of Health, they may be able to open a little bit sooner than the rest of our state. So Governor Jay Inslee's plan, called Safe Start, is a gradual and careful approach to reopening our state as we come out of this coronavirus pandemic. So the stay home, stay healthy order will last through May, but this plan will amend some parts of the order as we start to reopen our state. So this means more businesses and activities will open in phases with health and social distancing standards still in place. So here's a look at the 4 phases of the plan. We start today with phase 1, as some outdoor recreation is allowed and essential businesses open. In phase 2, more businesses like hair salons and restaurants will open with limited in-house seating. Phase 3 will move into movie theaters and libraries reopening. And in phase 4, events like concerts and large sporting events will be allowed again. So for some of those smaller communities that I mentioned, counties with less than 75,000 people, if they have not had a new coronavirus case in the last 3 weeks, they can apply with the Washington State Department of Health to open up some of their public sectors of life a little bit sooner than the rest of the state. So if you want a full look over that plan, I have shared a link on my Facebook page. All you have to do is look for me by searching Kiara L. Fallon TV. From Covington, I'm Kiara L. Fallon, King 5 News.